actually the exact opposite is happening in terms of villages slowly merging into cities, or rather cities expanding their boundaries. The villagers are selling off their land. I mean, you can see it everywhere across all the big cities. And there is a big question of where the food is going to get produced from in the next 2 or 3 decades. So, rural-based economies is a little difficult idea considering this expansion and villages getting...
If you put it in a different context, if we were to see today, we are looking at cities expanding into rural areas, whereas if you were to take the rural area and then were to say, what is it that I will do in a rural area? Currently, the reason the cities are expanding into rural areas is because the land is priced. It's no longer 1 lakh an acre outside of the city of Kumbakonam. It's 15 lakhs an acre, 20 lakhs an acre. So somebody's, the farmer who's producing grains there, the produces somewhere in the region of 10,000 to 15,000 rupees an acre, is suddenly deciding to say, you know what, I can put that money in a bank and I can receive that. Why do I need to work? That's the logic of the land going away. If we were to take the same land and teach the farmer that you can actually make 75,000 rupees an acre rather than for you to sell it to somebody else, there is value that you can create in that same land. I think you can change the economics and you can change the demographics. Somebody needs to think entrepreneurially. This is not a government job. It's not some district collector's job. This is somebody saying, how do I take an acre of land and create value out of that land? Not necessarily in that 1 acre of land, but on 1,000 acres of land. How do I collectively create that kind of a value? This, by the way, happened in the US. Not only did it happen in the US, it also happened that the factory jobs are also expanding. People moved out to the factory jobs in various locations. But I think the fundamental thing that you need to work on is the fact that these lands in the rural areas are more valuable than what it is right now, given the circumstances. And so one has to work towards that.
Sir, India is lagging behind in manufacturing sector, as we all know. What is the reason behind this is the lack of entrepreneurial spirit in the manufacturing sector. We are dependent on China and other countries for our imported manufactured goods, and our exports largely consist of raw materials. And this is continuing since a very long time, and we don't know till when will it continue.
I think it's a very serious issue that we are dealing with. It's got to do with infrastructure. It's years of neglecting the infrastructure. One of the things that China did, even during a communist regime, I've had an opportunity to visit Russia and China during communist regimes. The thing that you have to understand with both of them is they were, during those regimes, they actually created incredible infrastructure in their country. Roads, port infrastructure, and so on and so forth. India never did that. And one of the problems that I see right now is the fact that India still is lagging behind in some of these areas. But if India puts its mind to it, I think Indian manufacturing can exceed that of China or that of Europe or that of America. I've seen it happen. If you see Maruti as an example, I've seen it happen. I've seen the supply. But if you look at the way it's getting supplied right now, the trucks waiting in line at some border, it's a complete mess. But in spite of it, if India can do it, that means there is enormous amount of slack left in the system. That if you were to solve the infrastructural issues, the slack will go away. The wastage will go away. When the wastage goes away, India can be as competitive or more competitive than China. But unfortunately, nobody is looking at that. So that's why everybody is moving towards a port city like Chennai, bringing everything near to each other, so that it doesn't get distracted by the roadways of India and the excise systems of the country.
You were talking about Indian companies not growing up to world standards as dominating leaders. But say I am faced with a situation wherein a multinational company, a foreign multinational, comes and asks me to sell it off and give me a share. Now, what should my decision be? Should it be that I should be chauvinistic and say, no, I'm not going to sell it to a foreign multinational? Or
No, if you think that, look, when hydraulics and Renault Auto Products, when I turned it around, when somebody came to me and said, sell me a stake, somebody said, I'll give you $20 million for it, for a certain stake. I said, yeah, sure, take it. So the answer to you is, in a globalized world, if you have a company that you have built and you believe that you're getting the value for it, I think I would sell it, because keep in mind that it is that cash that's going to take you to the next level. So cash on hand is worth two in the bush. So I think it's very extremely important that if you do get an opportunity like that, you do sell it. You don't have to be chauvinistic. That doesn't mean that you don't have to take that money and start investing in creating something else that you want to create. Oh, yeah. Okay.
There are no other questions. Let's thank Sandy again for his very
Thank you.
and as a token of our appreciation, I want to give